All right, welcome back, everybody. June is Cataract Awareness Month. That was said by Prevent Blindness. And with us this morning to chat about cataract awareness and about eye surgery as pertains to cataracts is Dr. Ronnie Bowler, who is the CEO of CDRS and the Trinidad Eye Hospital. Good morning.
Good morning, Carrie, and thanks for having me on the program.
Thanks for being with us again. So I'm very excited to speak about this because this is an issue that faces many people, and some people are still not educated as to what you can do about it. And we're going to be speaking about cataracts. So first off, what is a cataract, doctor?
So a cataract is a clouding of the natural lens. So I have a little eye model here, which shows that the lens really sits behind the pupil. And this area where the lens is, in a cataract, this lens becomes cloudy or white. And as a result, it blocks the light from coming through the pupil to get to the back of the eye. And that causes a reduction in the vision. So the way to solve this problem is to remove the cataract and put an artificial lens. And that artificial lens now is clear. It's not cloudy anymore. And it allows 100% of the light now to come through the pupil and get to the back of the eye, almost giving you 20/20 vision.
Almost 20/20. So even if you previously didn't have 20/20 vision, in that eye that the surgery is performed, you would have close to 20/20?
Yes, most people get back such amazing vision that they think they're about 20 years old again with their vision.
Right.
So it is one of the most amazing surgical inventions of the 20th century. It's that good.
How long ago has this procedure been developed, if you know?
So it's less than 100 years old. It's probably only about 40 years ago that we actually got the lens that we use in the eye invented. Yeah, it's a guy called Harold Ridley.
All right, well, let's speak now about, what causes cataracts and what are some of the risk factors that contribute to it.
Yeah, so really, a lot of people want to know, well, what could they do to prevent cataract, from coming? You really can't prevent it 100% because it's an aging process of the lens. So, once you're aging, it's going to develop. But you could slow down that progression. And things that you could do is when you're going out in the sun, you wear shades that protect you against the UVB light. So it's important to protect yourself. The sunlight, for some reason, causes cataracts to increase their speed of progression. The second thing you want to do is make sure you eat a diet rich in vitamins and minerals. So, your green leafy vegetables, your carrots, and all the other things that you've been told by your grandmother and who else to have, and it's good for your eyes. They are really good for your eyes. So make sure you get your fruit and vegetables, vary the colors of the different fruits and vegetables, and that should give you enough protection.
Balanced diet. You see, so many things we've been speaking about on the program, and one of the common threads here is a balanced diet helps so many things. So it helps your eyes as well. Now, when it comes to signs and symptoms, is there anything that somebody could, well, forgive the pun, look out for?
Yeah, so one of the problems now with the pandemic and the lockdown and everything is that people have been suffering now with the cataracts getting worse on them, and they can't really get the surgeries done because we are trying to limit movement in the country. So what's been happening is that we've been assessing people to determine the urgency and the need for the surgery, because we don't want people, while we're on lockdown and in this COVID times, to be getting into other problems.
Right, of course. So as you mentioned the surgery there, is this surgery, is it safe, and what are the procedures in place during this time of a pandemic?
So that's an interesting question. What happens in surgery? Surgery is like a COVID bubble, because before you enter any surgical area in this country, especially privately and in public hospitals, what happens is you'll be screened for COVID. So you enter this area, the surgical area, which is now almost like a COVID-free zone. And you hardly have any interaction when you go in there because you might meet one nurse and then you go into another area where everybody is PPD'd up, masks, gowns, gloves. So the interaction in a surgical environment is very COVID friendly, if you want to use that word. However, I think because it involves movement of people, we're really only doing emergency surgeries or urgent cataracts,
Right.
people who are at risk. So what I would suggest you do is you have to come in, get an assessment to see what is the urgency of the cataract.
All right, and finding out what your status is along that line is very important. When it comes to cost, though, some people may or may not have obstacles when it comes to covering the cost of any surgery. What is the general range of a cataract surgery?
So the general range is about 12 to 14,000 for a general cataract surgery. That's a very interesting question you asked, the cost issue. At CVRS, Trinidad Eye Hospital, we've developed a subsidized program for cataract surgery, which we've been running for over 3 years, even pre-pandemic.
Right.
And we have cataract surgery at 40% reduced cost and payment option plans. So what we have is a team of people. When you come in, we'll try and find a payment option that is tailored to your needs. We also have free surgeries that we run twice a year. And the next one is Christmas in July. We usually try to do about 25 cases in the Christmas in July list, and then in the December list. So even if we cannot find a financial plan that is tailored to your budget, what we will do is offer you, these other options, these free options, if they are available.
That's very heartening, Doctor, to know that and, to see what the Trinidad Eye Hospital is doing for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. In public institutions, medical institutions, that is, there is quite the waiting list for individuals awaiting eye surgery. What does CVRS and the eye hospital do in their part to help alleviate that?
Yeah, I think the lockdown is creating a waiting list issue because you have to treat the COVID problem that you have right now. So it is understandable. And this is not Trinidad, this is worldwide, a problem that we see in all over. And the solutions are really multiple. And one solution is for the private sector to start to pick up some of the burden of that waiting list issue.
Definitely. And before we go, Doctor, how would individuals contact the Trinidad Eye Hospital and get more information from you?
Well, we have a wonderful website, so you could just Google the Trinidad Eye Hospital, or you could call us on 235-4834, 235-4834.
Wonderful. I have a quick question again before we go. Two questions, actually. Is there an age within which people should test to see if they're developing a cataract, or is it something that there's no age specification?
Well, the good news with cataracts, it's not like glaucoma, which is a silent thief of sight. You wouldn't know that you have this glaucoma and it could just blind you. Right. Cataracts is a reversible blinding condition. So if you find out you have cataracts, like you go to the optician for your regular checks and you find out you have cataract, it's one of the problems that you shouldn't worry about. Right. Because we are going to give you miraculously, really good vision once the rest of the eye is healthy. There is obviously terms and conditions for everything, but once the rest of your eye is healthy, and we get you, we could remove those cataracts, put the lens in. The other thing is cataract surgery has a really, really high success rate and very, very low complication rate. So, it's one of the more safer procedures that you could have. And also it's quick. It's not something you need to worry too much about, like it's going to be a painful procedure or anything. Right. Yeah, we numb the eye with drops, and then we give you a little anesthetic around the eyes, very similar to when you have any surgery or dental work. You know, you get a little heavy feeling around the tooth, and then you have the procedure.
Right. Yeah. And what about recovery time?
Recovery time also is usually very quick once the eye is healthy. So what you would find by the next day when you take the pad off, you know, patients tell us, wow, they have this wow effect a lot of the times. You know, the next day when the pad comes off, they're thinking the world has changed. So it's really, it's an amazing surgery, not only for the patient, but also for the doctor, because it makes us feel really good too.
Of course, yeah. You know, to give people the gift of vision back. Dr. Ronnie Bowler, that's all we have time for this morning. But I want to thank you so much for joining us and opening our eyes to cataract health and all these things along the lines, as well as June is Cataract Awareness Month.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Definitely is. You have a great morning and be safe.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take that short break and we're going to come back with much more right here on the Now Morning Show.